And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Flying weather for Thursday morning. Lots of IFR in the chart here from the northern and northeast Bering Sea all the way down to the Alaska Peninsula and inland here, kind of east-southeast from the Kuskokwim Valley into Prince William Sound and the Gulf. Another band up here across the north-central interior, mostly south of the Brooks Range, but there's some IFR for the central and western Arctic Coast North Slope areas. A little bit of IFR here over the northeast Panhandle. And for the afternoon, this area just shifts eastward there and keeps some IFR in over the northern southeast coast, now down along the north coast as well, and all of the North Gulf Coast into Prince William Sound on up into the northern Susitna Valley. And then VFR on the north side of the Alaska Range. Band of IFR here from right around Arctic Village southwestward into the Yukon Delta, Norton Sound, and near St. Lawrence Island. Otherwise, not too bad, becoming VFR for Cook Inlet on down to Kodiak Island, as well as the central Aleutians to the Alaska Peninsula. And then for Friday morning, staying pretty good here for Cook Inlet and the Kenai Peninsula. Some marginal VFR and IFR here for the Matanuska Valley, Copper River Basin. Big portion of interior Alaska all the way up to the Arctic coast. And again, the northeast Bering Sea, as well as Bristol Bay, IFR, marginal VFR, and then some more IFR here with the next system pushing into the western Aleutians with that area spreading in toward Atka Island. By morning, an IFR for the southeast coast and the eastern North Gulf Coast. That improved somewhat for the afternoon on Friday here, marginal VFR with the main area of IFR shifting slowly eastward there for the southeast coastal areas and some lingering IFR eastern Copper River Basin, VFR, Cook Inlet, Kenai Peninsula to Kodiak Island, Prince William Sound. Marginal VFR here elsewhere over the interior with the main area of IFR up over the North Slope Brooks Range locations. The Arctic coast, though, mostly marginal. And building IFR here with another system, strong low pushing into the southwest Bering Sea in the front. So we've got IFR for about Amchitka Island or just east of Amchitka, Adak, Atka, into the eastern Aleutians and southwest of the Pribilofs. And for passes, Anatuvik and Adigan, count on some IFR tomorrow at times for both passes there. Same thing for Lake Clark and Merrill, IFR. Rainy IFR, windy IFR, especially on the southern entrance here. And for Isabel, marginal VFR, lowest conditions, southern approach, and Mentesta, marginal VFR. Tanita, IFR, and Portage, IFR as well. Chilkoot and White, IFR. Freezing levels here, 2,000 to 4,000 feet. They're right across Kodiak Island and the Alaska Peninsula, 2,000 feet out toward Nikolsky. And the surface here, right across the southwest interior, south of the Gulf of, or the North Gulf Coast, and then cutting down across Prince of Wales Island once again. And icing, some pretty good icing pushing in northeastward here along the coast of the Panhandle up to about Yakutat and actually over to, say, Cape St. Elias and into the Coast Range there. Another area of moderate rime icing up over the Tanana Valley and to the area there, southern Koyukuk Valley areas on down into Norton Sound. Another batch out here over the central Bering Sea. And for the jet stream, southwest flow here, 105 to 125 knots there, Kodiak Island and on up toward Prince William Sound. Turn northwest at about 95 knots or so for the southeast coast. And another jet max out there over the west central Aleutians, northwest or west northwest at about 105 knots. And for 9,000 feet, generally westerly flow here across the Bering Sea, 40 to 50 knots with a 50-knot winds over the west central Aleutians. And 35 to 40 knot westerlies here over the central and southern part of the state, a little stronger, but that's south of Kodiak Island there, 50 knots. And lighter west becoming northwest winds for the Panhandle. 3,000 feet, not much wind at this elevation of any significance for the southeast coast. Narrow band of easterlies there on the north side of this low near Middleton Island, and pretty light over the eastern northern interior. And westerlies, west-southwest, 30 to 40 knots there, Yukon Delta, on up in towards Galena and those areas. Westerlies at about 40 knots or 40 to 45 knots over the Bering Sea and the Aleutians. Turbulence, with that narrow band of winds here, could be some light to isolated moderate turbulence for the North Gulf Coast into Prince William Sound. Moderate turbulence here from Norton Bay, eastern Norton Sound, down in across Nunivak Island, as well as the Alaska Peninsula to Unalaska Island, and also for the Central Aleutians.